Day by day, we are inching closer to the 2024 NBA draft. We are here. This is probably the final pre-March Madness NBA mock draft. This should be like 3.0. We've added some new players to the board. Jacoby Walter has moved up to number 2. The kid can absolutely shoot the crap out of it, and that's what you need in the modern day NBA. 6'5", he can also defend. He's up to number 2. Dalton Connect is up to number 5 after his masterful performance the other night against Auburn. He went for 39. Rob Dillingham still sitting here at 8. He just had a big day today. Kentucky is basically an NBA team at this point. Reed Shepherd's shooting at over 50% from 3 on the year. Kevin McCullough finally back in the lineup. Devin Carter's on here. He's played his way into consideration, although I don't think he is 16 foot 8 inches tall. That one shouldn't be there. Collier's moving down to 18. Antonio Reeves is now on the board. Dylan Jones from Weber State. Hunter Salas, Jalen Bridges, and Johnny Furphy. Both of these guys, I think, eventually will be really good NBA players just because they can defend and they can knock down the 3 ball. And then we also added Trey Alexander on there. So we've got 28 prospects on the board. So yeah, before long, probably after March Madness, we'll do a full first-round mock draft. But today we're sticking to the lottery. And first overall, this one's not much of a decision. The Wizards are going to go Alex Sarr. He's the best player in the draft at 7-1. I've went in depth on him on a couple of other mock draft videos, but 7-1, he's the next in the line of overseas big men that can do everything. So Alex Sarr, number 1 overall pick. He's the best player in this class. It's as simple as that. Now Detroit at number 2. They've got Cade. They've got a couple of good 2 guards with Jaden Ivey. They just dropped Shake Milton. But they also have Azar Thompson, who I guess you could also say is a 3. So they got 3 good young guards. Marcus Sasser also, I think, at one point will make a impression. They got Wiseman, Stewart, and Jalen Duren on the inside. So they could definitely use a power forward as well. I don't think Reza Shea could be the number 2 overall pick. Connect is a little too small to play the 4, but I think Ron Holland could be an interesting pick here. I know Cody Williams is 6'8", but I think Ron Holland will be a big-time pickup here. He can slide right into that 4 spot, and you're looking at a, wing duo of Azar Thompson and Ron Holland on the defensive side of the ball. That is very enticing. Cade and Jaden Ivey can definitely score. You bring Marcus Sasser off the bench. Not much scoring between Azar and Ron Holland. Both are really slashers. They can't really shoot it off the ball. So they will need to make the addition of shooters in free agency or in the second round. But right now, that's who we're going to go with is Ron Holland at number 2 overall. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs. And this has been, ever since kind of the mock draft started to come out, this has been my perfect scenario. The Spurs desperately need a point guard. They've tried everything. They've tried Jeremy Sohan at point guard, for crying out loud. So with this pick, they're going to go with the best pure passing, pass-first PG in the class, and that is Nikola Topic out of, where is he? Serbia, I think. So he will be the next point guard for the Spurs, teaming up with another guy from overseas, Victor Wembanyama, and then Jeremy Sohan, who is from Poland. 3 guys from overseas here for the San Antonio Spurs. And Nikola Topic, I think you add him to this Spurs roster, pair him with Victor Wembanyama, things could get scary because the only thing right now stopping Wembanyama is his teammates, it feels like. And they played well. They beat the Thunder the other night. So Topic to the Thunder, 6'7", got a lot of upside. Now we have the Hornets, who the Hornets are actually in a pretty solid situation now. Okay, we got our point guard and our backup point guard for next year. We've got Trey Mann. Okay, and then you got Seth Curry, Nick Smith Jr. One of those will be the backup 2 guard next year. Brandon Miller at the 3 with Cody Martin being his backup. You got Miles Bridges at the 4 with Grant Williams being his backup. And then you got Mark Williams starting at the 5 with Nick Richards being his backup. All you need now is depth. You should have a lot of money in free agency. I'm liking where the Hornets are going with this. And you add Jacoby Walter to this team, who can absolutely shoot it from downtown. He's also 6'5", so he looks, he looks the part to be an NBA player, and he fits this Hornets scheme of long athletic defenders with LaMelo Ball, Jacoby Walter, and then Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges, both about 6'8". Miller's probably 6'9", 6'10", and then Miles about 6'7". But still, and then you got Mark Williams at 7'1". This will be a really long team, a really young team, and it should be a really exciting team if Jacoby Walter goes to the Hornets. That is a match made. Topic and Jacoby Walter, that's two of the best fits in the entire draft right now. At number 5, we have the Portland Trailblazers on the clock, and this is a team looking kind of to reset. They've got really good guards. Brogdon will be back next year. They have Scoot Henderson, they have Anthony Simons, and they have Shaedon Sharpe, who can also play the 3, but they have Jeremy Grant. We'll see if Tuamani Camara comes on down the road. They got DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams, so I think, they need a 3, and this is the perfect spot. I think Cody Williams is a little bit better of a prospect right now than Reza Shea. I know Reza Shea has already been playing overseas. He can really shoot the ball, but I think Cody Williams just has that much more upside at Colorado. I'm about to watch a little bit more film on him. I'm going to watch that. I believe they play Stanford tomorrow. So we're going to watch that game. That's tomorrow night. But I think Cody Williams, probably the best player on the board right now. Connect and Reza Shea. These 3 guys, that's 3 really good scoring options on the wing that have risen up into the top 6 on my big board. And that's really what it's about, is wing scoring in the modern NBA. Cody Williams at 5 to the Blazers. At 6, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, another team that could use some more wing scoring. They got Vince Williams, Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard, Ja Morant. They got good guards, Marcus Smart. They got some bigs with Brandon Clark, with Santi Aldama, G.G. Jackson, Jaren Jackson Jr., but really they need more wings. Therefore, we're going Dalton Connect to the Memphis Grizzlies because, here's my reasoning, they are a team that, yes, they're terrible this year, but they have a lot of pieces. This was a team that was, the 2 seed last year, 3 seed? This team is ready. They're ready. They're a win-now team. The best win-now prospect on the board right here is Dalton Connect, and that'll be the perfect addition. 6'6", 200 pounds. He's averaging 20 and 5. Should be the SEC Player of the Year this year. Dalton Connect to the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, we have the Houston Rockets via the Brooklyn Nets. And with their pick going to OKC, this will be their only first-round pick. They have Fred VanVleet. Jalen Green is probably not going to be a long-term part of the Rockets' plans. Amin Thompson will be the backup point guard. He will take over as a starter down the line. They got Cam Whitmore, who can take over as a starting shooting guard, honestly. They got Jabari Smith and Tari Eason as their power forwards down the road, and then they got Alperen Sengun and Steven Adams as their starting center. So what do they need? Probably a 2 guard, but with the Rockets right here, I'm going to have them go Zachary Reza Shea. I think he's the best player on the board right now. He's already been playing overseas for a little while, and he kind of fits their timeline. This is a team, they're looking to take the next step next year, but they're not necessarily playoff or bust next year. They took a step this year. They'll sign some more guys in free agency next year, and then they're going to bring in Reza Shea here to not really necessarily move along this rebuild, but he's a guy that can really shoot it. He's got a really fluid stroke. Already played professional basketball for a year. I like Reza Shea to the Rockets. Now at 8, we have the Spurs with their second top 8 pick of the draft. And I think we're going to have them go out and get a win-now player. We took a kind of a project with Nikola Topic at pick number 3. And this is something I think we will see teams do more, and that is take 4-year college players that are really experienced. And Kevin McCullough happens to be one of those guys. Right now at Kansas, he's averaging 19 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and he's their best defender on the wing. Well, I completely blanked. Him and DeJuan Harris Jr. are really, really good perimeter defenders. So with that, we're going to have Kevin McCullough going to the San Antonio Spurs. You bring in Topic, you bring in another wing defender that can really score it, can shoot it in Kevin McCullough, and I really like this draft if I'm the San Antonio. Next up at 9, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. You just have the luxury of taking best player available here. You have 2 top 11 picks, so with this pick right here, we will probably... You can afford to take a swing on somebody, so Mateus Buzelis, that's who they're going to take here. Really, with the only explanation being they can afford to take a swing on kind of a project guy in Buzelis and still go out and get a win-now type player here with their pick at number 11. At 10, we have the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. They need to go best player available too. I think Rob Dillingham at this point in the draft, given who else is on the board, he's kind of in his own tier. So I'll take Rob Dillingham there. for the Atlanta Hawks. Kind of come in behind Trey. DeJounte Murray's probably gone. I'd like to see Kobe Buffkin play in the 2 next year. I really liked him coming out of Michigan. So we'll go with Rob Dillingham here to the Atlanta Hawks. Only 160 pounds. Kind of concerning, but he can absolutely fill it up. Now for the 11th overall pick, we're going to have the Thunder go out and get an elite wing prospect in Ryan Dunn. They have all of their scoring. They can sign another guy in free agency, another shooter. Maybe they do look into Jared McCain here, but they have a lot of guards, and Mateus Buzelis is more of an offensive potential guy than defensive. So Ryan Dunn out of Virginia, you bring him in, you work with him on his shooting stroke, and he can be an elite wing defender alongside Jalen Williams, Lou Dort, all those guys. I think Ryan Dunn, the Thunder just take winning players. That's been their strategy the last 2 years, and it definitely has worked out. Ryan Dunn to the Thunder at 11. At 12, we have the Chicago Bulls on the clock. They're in a full rebuild. The best player on the board here is probably who they'd go with. So I'd go Jared McCain, honestly. I don't really see him as a franchise player, but he should win ACC Freshman of the Year. He can really shoot the ball. He can score in the lane. He's been good defensively as a team defender, not necessarily as an ISO defender, but as playing team basketball. He's been great with rotations as a freshman. I'll take Jared McCain if I'm the Bulls there. Pair him up with Kobe White, a little Duke UNC action in the backcourt. That is a small backcourt. Maybe one of them can come off the bench. But at that point, you just got to go best player available. Now for the Pelicans. Who do the Pelicans take? I mean, you can never go wrong with shooting with Reed Shepherd. But, Devin Carter's very enticing down here. It's got to be Devin Carter. As a sophomore, averaging 20 a game. This will be the first time he is picked in one of these mock draft videos. But Devin Carter, he can fit in. He's a wing. He's, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8"? He can fit in alongside CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, all those guys. Dyson Daniels, Zion, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Jordan Hawkins. He knows Jordan Hawkins pretty well from their days in the Big East last year. So I think Devin Carter to the Pelicans there, that'd be a great fit. Really good defender, and he can really score the ball this year. He's taken that Providence team over by himself after the injury with Bryce Hopkins, is that his name, their best player, going down for the season. Then 14th, we have the Blazers. Final pick here of the lottery. And we'll have the Blazers. I'll have them go get Antonio Reeves, who is averaging 20 a game at Kentucky. Can really shoot the ball. Fanspo apparently doesn't have his numbers in here, but he's a really good shooter, and I think he's the best player on the board at this point, and I think he'll fit in with Portland very nicely as a scorer and a defender, three-point shooter. So, yeah, that's the mock draft. Alex Sarr, still the consistent number 1 overall pick. You got Topic going in there to pair up with Victor Wembanyama. You got Jacoby Walter pairing up with the Hornets. And then you have Cody Williams being the franchise player in Portland. You got Dalton Connect, win now team in Memphis. He becomes, a solid piece, maybe even a starter from day one for them. Reza Shea, helps out that rebuild in Houston. McCullough there, win now player in San Antonio. Something, I think will happen a lot more is these 4-year players, Antonio Reeves, Kevin McCullough, guys like that getting drafted high up. So yeah, that'll be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it at any point, make sure to like button and leave me a comment down below as it really helps out in the YouTube algorithm. And with all that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.